trauma can be used to catapult you into success. The antithesis of light is darkness, and we have to go through darkness in this life, right? Whether we're a follower of the way or not, we're going to find darkness. It's what you guys do with the darkness and how you can overcome it, right? So as a firefighter, I spent 28 years, and I've seen my share, and I'm not here to complain about it. I am here to share that no matter how bad it was, no matter what I've seen going through these traumatic things, trauma that happened in my life, trauma that happened to me as a child, losing a daughter to a drunk driver. And so many people don't know what kind of trauma people are going through. And they also don't know what you're going through. Recently, there's been a rash of suicides. And through this message, I really hope that you listen and understand I'd never want to take away from your trauma to say, oh, it's just a way of the way you think about it, right? But honestly, the difference between me going through these things where I've grown from it and the difference between someone else put in that same shoes, if they don't have faith that they're going to overcome, if they don't have faith in themselves, or if they don't sit there and go, instead of why me? I mean, one of my stories is about a vehicle accident on Tarpon Center Drive in Venice, and it was a girl who worked at a local grocery store, and when we found her, she had been ejected from the vehicle, and she was not going to make it. And I had to call her mother, and I had to tell her mother to meet us at the hospital because we couldn't fly her. And typically, as an officer or a lieutenant, I typically don't have to make those calls, but I had to. I was compelled to do it. She was laying in a culvert crying for her mommy, and her phone was there, and it was raining, so we couldn't fly her. So I held her hand, and we transported her, and I got her all the way up to the ER, and she was on the ER operating table, and they did ultrasound while I was holding her hand. She would not let go, and I would not let go either. And there's a lot of firefighters, a lot of people that might have not done that, because I also have to protect myself from the exposure of trauma. And the men that I served with and the women that I served with as a leader, you have to limit what you're around so that you can make it out of this fire service or whatever it is that you're doing. You can make it out on the other side. So, I held her hand till the very last second. She died right there in my hands, and there was nothing we could do about it. And after that, I went to go talk to, the doctor wanted me to go and talk to the family since I'd made contact. And I was able to tell the family that, I was there stand-in. Not that it really, it's not going to help the loss, but they knew that someone was there to love her to the very end. Instead of guarding my feelings and protecting myself and keeping myself away from it and treating it as a patient, I treated her last moments as a human being, loved her like her family would, and her family got to know that, And I could sit there, my friends have asked me before, it's like, because I've told other stories, and, people have gone through way worse things than I have. And I still look at it like that, and you just heard what I talked to you about, what I've went through. There's been a lot more, and that's okay. But why is it that I'm okay? They ask me, how are you okay? How do you sleep at night? How do you not have post-traumatic stress syndrome? And it took me a long time to realize that the way I handle these traumas is by rationalizing the fact that who better than me to have been there? Not why me, why not me? Who else would have done that? Who else would have been in your position or my position and did the things the way we did it? And as long as you know that you did everything you can, and you were the right person for the job or the situation, you can totally reframe the things you go through. You can reframe them from stress to growth. And faith in Jesus Christ, that helps me Just like when he was on the Sea of Galilee with his apostles and followers, and they cried out, you know, they couldn't see their way to the other side of the storm, but he could. And he calmed everything down for them. And it's us that have to be able to understand that even though we don't see it, he's working. Even though we don't see it, there's the other side. And if you are feeling super stress, or if you're feeling some kind of a way about life, and you're contemplating things negatively about others, to do to yourself, I'm not there as your solution, but I'm there as your connector. You really need to connect and get help, and ask your friends. Don't let you find a permanent end, or a permanent solution to a temporary problem, you know. Please reach out to somebody.